Your Heart is a Muscle the Size of a Fist is a novel written by Sunil Yapa, a Sri Lankan American author, in 2016. The story is set in a contemporary American city and follows the lives of several characters, including Victor, a young homeless man, King, a young woman, and two police officers, Park and Ju. These characters navigate various facets of their city's unrest and injustice. While King takes a direct stance against the police state, Victor's political consciousness is more complex and ambivalent. Officers Park and Ju grapple with different moral dilemmas within their roles. Yapa's novel sheds light on how easily individuals can make significant moral missteps, often without realizing the full extent of their actions. The book has garnered praise for its intricate portrayal of urban crime and justice. The narrative commences in an underpass, where Victor seeks refuge and smokes weed. He hears the sounds of a protest nearby and decides to join in, hoping to make some money by selling weed to fund a plane ticket to another city. However, every protester he approaches turns him down. A young woman among the crowd asserts that their cause goes beyond a mere protest. Preacher John Henry echoes her sentiments, likening their movement to a new form of religion. Meanwhile, officers Park and Ju stand at the fringes of the protest, alert for signs of trouble. Abusing their authority, they intimidate a girl who offers them coffee. As the narrative unfolds, someone reports Victor to an officer, leading to an attempt to confiscate his bag. Witnessing this, King intervenes on Victor's behalf, prompting Ju to temper his aggressive approach. The focus then shifts to King, who recounts her challenging journey into adulthood. She entered into prostitution at 19, fell in love with a boy, and transformed into an impassioned protester, even resorting to violence. Over time, King rejected violence as a means for political change. In contrast, John Henry's approach to protest has always been rooted in community unity. King invites Victor to join the upcoming protest, setting the stage for further exploration of their intertwined stories. Victor initially declines King's invitation, but he reconsiders after a childhood memory resurfaces. This recollection involves a traumatic incident in which his father burned all his books. In a separate part of the story, Sri Lankan ambassador Dr. Charles Wickramasinghe is en route to America for a World Trade Organization conference. Upon landing, he finds his path to the convention center blocked by the ongoing protest, and he learns that the event has been cancelled. The city's mayor instructs Police Captain Bishop to disperse the protesters, but Bishop's futile attempts trigger memories of his own son, Victor, who is revealed to be homeless. Regretting his past decision to use tear gas on the protesters, Bishop joins in physically confronting them. Amid the chaotic protest, Victor's disillusionment grows as he questions the true impact of such demonstrations on marginalized communities. He becomes increasingly skeptical about the efficacy of protests in effecting meaningful change. Meanwhile, Charles confronts officers Park and Ju to seek an explanation for the protest. However, their response is to arrest him, and he finds himself among other detainees on a bus serving as an improvised holding cell. On the bus, fellow protesters share stories of their experiences with police violence. Once released, Charles manages to enter the convention center, while Victor becomes lost within the turmoil of the protest, grappling with memories of his severed connections to former communities. King recalls a harrowing incident in which she shot someone during a protest at the Mexican border. As tensions escalate, Officer Park readies his weapon to shoot Victor, who is becoming increasingly self-destructive and violent, targeting the police chief. This leads to a brutal beating of Victor by the police. In a desperate move to quell the chaos, Officer Ju shoots King. Amid the chaos, he comes to realize that neither the protesters nor the police are fully aligned with the right side of the turmoil. Meanwhile, Charles enters the WTO convention and reconnects with his colleagues, the WTO director, and an old classmate. The WTO director ridicules Charles for his misguided belief in upward mobility within the organization. A news headline on television highlights the clash between violent protesters and the police. As King is whisked away in an ambulance, Bishop tends to Victor's injuries. In a series of concluding, brief sequences, the central characters are confronted with the irrationality and chaos that permeate their world. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.